Welcome to the Lift and Glow Fitness podcast, where we help women look and feel better by building healthy, sustainable habits that last. Today, I'm with the team and we're sharing tips for busy women on how you can make simple changes to improve your health and confidence without overwhelming yourself and your schedule. We hope you enjoy this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future podcasts from us. So, shall we talk about training for fat loss? I feel like there's a bit of confusion. This is something that I was confused about. I thought I had to train one way, and it turns out I actually needed to train another way. I think a lot of it stems from the people don't understand the difference between weight loss and fat loss. So weight loss, we're talking about total weight loss. So you lose muscle, you lose fat, you lose water, and you can see differences on your body. But if the goal is to get like toned, that won't necessarily happen if you just focused on weight loss. So scales might come down quickly, but oftentimes people are like, how do I still not feel good even though I've lost all this weight? And so I like to talk more about fat loss. So like when clients of mine are wanting to lose weight, they actually want to lose fat. So they want to prioritize losing fat and they want to get toned. They want to look lean. And so we need to maintain muscle mass. Obviously, water will change and shift throughout the month. And we want to predominantly lose body fat. And there's a difference in how we do that. So like just purely losing weight, calorie deficit, and as much exercise as you can do. But if you want to lose fat, we need to be in a calorie deficit, but your protein needs to be high and you need to strength train because we need to maintain the muscle mass. We need to strength training will signal to the body, we need this muscle because obviously we're doing something that needs it. So strength training signals to the body, we need this muscle. The protein assists with the muscle recovering. So we actually keep hold of that muscle. We lose body fat, scales go down slower. Yeah. Which feels more frustrating, but your photos, measurements, they change a lot. Yeah. So I wanted to explain the difference between that, so that people understand that it isn't about burning calories. It isn't about sweating your tits off. It isn't about moving as much as possible. It's about doing the right things for fat loss. Yeah. So what would we say are the best type of workouts for fat loss?
Lifting weights, strength training.
Yeah. Big compound movements. Yeah. Just big compound movements like 3 heavy weight sessions a week, 2 a week if you want to. And like you can do all of the high intensity stuff as well if you've got time. But if the goal is to lose predominantly fat and you want to look toned, you want to look lean, strength training's essential.
You just get a lot of people get confused because I even had someone say to me today or yesterday over like cardio and stuff, you know, the workout yesterday was dead sweaty, wasn't it? And someone went, oh, I bet you'd have done this every day, you'd be lean as anything. And I was like, no, you just think that because you're sweating loads and you think, oh, because you're sweating loads, you're burning all this fat when it's not the case.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think like, well, I used to go to like hot rooms to train because I thought that because I was sweating more, I was losing more fat.
Sweating the fat away.
But then that would mean that you could just live in a hot country and be slim.
Like, you just adapt eventually. Like them hot rooms don't feel as hot as when you first go in because your body just gets used to training.
First time I went in, I was
like
vomiting.
Go for a sauna once a week if you want to.
I
like a hot room. Don't get me wrong. I love a hot yoga. I don't even mind hot kettlebells. I do like them. But if I was to lose, well, I'd done that. That's how I lost weight, but I didn't like how I looked. I didn't look how I thought I was going to look.
I was the same.
And then I had to put weight back on, which was a mental challenge to actually build a little bit of muscle. And now I'm just like, why weren't I doing this? And then I got obsessed with like, why do we need to do this? This is going to keep me youthful.
Yeah.
It's actually going to keep me looking younger, which we all want.
Yeah, definitely. I think, so I dieted and just did HIIT. Like that was what I did. And I got down super small. And I just remember feeling like being on this holiday and really trying to tense my abs. I was like, why don't I have abs when I'm a size 6? Whereas I've got better abs now.
From lifting
and I'm
heavy.
like a stone and a half heavier. It's like insane because I've built muscle in me around my middle. And so even though I've got a bit more body fat too, it's like I can actually see it's weird how I've got more abs now than I did when I was that small and that light on the scales. I also like didn't really have like the shape and definition in my arms, my legs, had no bum. And I was like, I've worked really, really hard. Why don't I feel good? But I just realised I'd done the wrong thing. I'd focused on weight loss. I'd focused on being 8 stone. That was like, I'm going to be 8 stone. And so I did what I felt like I needed to do that. And I was like, oh, hang on a minute. I need muscle. So I binned the scales. I just got rid of them. Like I just didn't have scales in the house. And did what I knew I needed to do, fuel myself properly and lift weights. And then I weighed myself, you know, a year later. I was a stone heavier, but I was like, I feel 100 times better.
Yeah.
It was just, it's mad. Like how the focus is so much on scales and on weight when really it should be on body composition.
Yeah.
Which is what fat loss is, body composition focus, whereas weight loss is just scale weight.
Yeah.
Which like you do meet who goes, how much do you weigh? Hi, nice to meet you. Like who
No
cares?
one cares.
I don't even care what I weigh.
No, I don't.
I actually don't even know what I weigh.
I can't remember the last time I stepped on scales. I don't care.
If I'm redoing my calories, so like I've took them down a little bit now for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Just jumped on my scales after Dubai.
See
It's
where
like,
you're
okay,
at.
now I've got an idea. What am I training this week? What do I need to be eating? What's my protein looking like?
Yeah.
Like, and it's okay to do that. But the next time I get on them, probably be like the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, it comes from like out the era that we were brought up in and like all of these like weight loss clubs and stuff like that. They're just obsessed
The
about
generation
weight.
above us are obsessed, I think.
Yeah.
Like the older women who I
Yeah.
train. I had a client in actually today. She's been coming to me for a few weeks and she's getting so strong. She's doing amazing. She was like, I haven't lost a pound. I was like, it's going to take a bit. It's going to take a little bit more than that. And let's just come away from that. And she was like, well, went to a wedding 2 days ago and they're all on Mjaro and they've lost loads. And I was like, yeah, of muscle.
Yeah.
And also at your age, do you want to be able to get yourself out of a chair? Because that's burning through your muscle. It's eating it away. It's like...
Well, that's the thing. When you focus purely on weight loss, you get led down paths that aren't actually healthy and aren't beneficial long term. Like you've just mentioned Mjaro, like the muscle loss and like even bone density loss, like it's horrific. And people are just seeing these big losses on the scales. Whereas if you worked on your habits, strength trained, yes, it would be slower. Mjaro causes fast weight loss, but it doesn't leave you feeling good at the end of it.
And that rapid weight loss when you've been bigger like me, I had like jelly skin. I didn't ever feel toned until I started lifting.
Yeah.
And like what you were saying about the abs before, heavy overhead pressing over a crunch is going to get you an ab, like 100% in
Even like
weeks.
your squats, your deadlifts, when you're bracing your core properly, like I feel my abs working with heavy lifting.
100%.
I get that a lot from clients. I don't know if you do as well. It's like, why can't we do more abs? Can I do
do
more
sit-ups.
abs? I'm like, every exercise you are doing,
You're working your abs.
you are working your abs.
Doing
And if
that
you're not,
squats, you're working your abs.
Yeah.
and if you're not doing it right. Like you need to be thinking about that tension. Because I did used to do loads of ab stuff, but like I said, I never had abs when I did that. And like I don't do abs at all now. And I'm like, I can see them. They're there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that like the focus has to come away from burning calories. It has to come away from just being about weight. We gotta, the amount of clients that I've got now who just don't weigh themselves, I'm like, love, you need to bin the scales. And I'm like, give them to your partner, get them to hide them, or put them in the bin and send me a picture of them in the bin. Like, I don't want you to weigh yourself, because the reaction to the scales causes more problems than like just don't weigh yourself. Focus on the process. The whole experience will be better. Like I've got I read a check-in on Tuesday and it was like the biggest like yo-yo within a check-in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I put these pairs of jeans on, hanging off me. Oh my God, I went on this night out. I felt amazing. I got so many compliments. And then in the next like box, it was, I've only lost a pound or whatever this week. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Like, are you for real? You've just said you look better, you feel better, your clothes are hanging off you, you're getting loads of compliments, and you're crying about only losing a pound.
I feel like I had this check-in. I feel like I had this check-in
Well, it's the
last week.
same, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like the women we work with, it's the same sort of conversations that we're having all the time.
Pound weight loss is amazing, by the way.
Oh my God,
steady,
it's unreal.
steady. It's amazing. I don't know why people get so
think they see
hung
the
up
way-
on a pound or two. Like, what a win.
I know. I was like, that's brilliant. And it's
movement.
better to lose a pound in a week than it is to lose £5 in a week. If you lose a pound in a week and you've done it like strength training, eating high protein, you know that's a pound of fat you've lost. Maybe it's a tiny bit of muscle, but you've done your best to make sure it's predominantly fat. If your mate's lost £4 in a week, you best believe she's lost muscle, bit of fat, and obviously water from cutting carbs or whatever. So a pound is it's boss. I've got a jelly of fat at home, like a pound of it. It's massive.
Yeah.
Like I think it's this like obsession of, well, especially with Mjaro and that now, and people are losing like
People
7
want
pounds
everything
in a
now,
week.
like instant gratification. And then I just think like, who are you thanking for that weight loss?
Yeah.
The Mjaro. And then it's like got a smackhead effect because now you're a dependent. Like,
Yeah, now you're stuck on this
Yeah.
medication.
But when you come off that, did you think you're going to stay like that because you've built no habits to get there?
Exactly.
So they're saying now, aren't they, like 20% of what you lose on Mjaro is muscle and what you regain is 100% fat. So like how is it beneficial?
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I get
is
it when
just-
if people are severely overweight with a
Yeah.
heart problem, like you've got to obviously weigh
There's a
the
place for it.
that you've got to
Yeah.
weigh the benefits out of
Yeah.
like your life. If you're a healthy person who's just lazy, like don't do it. Like
Yeah.
And
If
I
you're
tried
like
Ozempic. I've tried it.
Have you?
So when I was bigger, and this was a pure low moment for me. This before I went on my fitness journey. I had a pen. My mate had a spare pen from the chemist. Someone had brought them back. So bad, I'm going to get in trouble. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was that person. I would try anything.
Yeah.
Try anything other than fucking dieting and exercising properly.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't
Other
feel.
than doing the actual hard
Yeah,
work.
because it was that same thing where I was like, but I can't do half the stuff in the gym. Instead of being like, well, I'm not going to be able to ever do it unless I just stop being crap at it to get good at it.
Yeah.
I just didn't have that mentality. It was just so warped from how I'd been raised. So tried Ozempic. Anyone who can do that is like, I was so ill. I was so ill for a week. Like I couldn't eat. I felt like severely seasick. So, and the pen lasted a week. There was nothing I could do once I'd injected myself. Like that was it. But what it did do for me is being like, wow, I actually am fucking really overeating.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
showed ya.
Yeah. But wouldn't recommend it. Couldn't do it. And then I felt like a loser for not being able to do that as well. It's like, I can't even do that.
Yeah, it's extreme, isn't it? Like I do think if people's health is at risk, I do think that there's a place for it. But these people who just want to lose a few pounds or they, I don't know, want to drop a couple of dress sizes, it's not for you.
No.
Like the only thing that is going to get you to lose fat, keep it off and feel good is changing your habits. Just like fat loss pills, ketones, meal replacements, just like all of those things that didn't work in the past. The reason they didn't work is because they didn't teach you how to live a real life and manage your habits and like start making different decisions and have different behaviors in everyday life. That is the only thing that is going to help you lose fat and keep it off. 100%. So just like all of those things didn't work, eventually Mjaro's not going to work because it'll work while you're doing it. And then when you stop, you've still got to do all of that work on your habits afterwards to maintain it. And people aren't. They're not. Like, and like you said, if you're losing 20% of your muscle, when you get over 30, it's not easy to rebuild that muscle.
No.
Like you've probably got no chance of ever rebuilding it. Like unless you go into a calorie surplus and you really intentionally build muscle, it's not going to happen by accident. Like that's insane. And then obviously you've got your bone density issues on that. I just think we're going to see so much like, well, sarcopenia, osteoporosis. We're in the generation that should be having less of that stuff because strength training and health is so big, and that like extreme dieting started to die. And now, so I was like, well, this is all going to end eventually. But then Mjaro's come in and it's just, there's going to be a huge percentage of people who are going to struggle with those things. But yeah, there is a huge difference between the weight loss and fat loss. Obsessing about the scales is like a huge, it's just like it holds people back. Like I think obsessing about the scales, obsessing about the calories you burn on your watch, those things are just pointless metrics when you are working towards health and body composition. The scales obviously can show you information, but it's not everything. I think your clothes and your photos by far are a better measure.
Like aim for a dress size. I
Yeah,
always think
aim
that's
for a
the
dress
best. You know, like
size.
to get back into the pair of jeans that don't fit.
Yeah.
Like they're the best little wins.
Them photos you get from clients where the jeans are like that, I'm like,
Amazing.
that's what this is about.
Surely you're getting a better feeling off that than standing on a scale and seeing like a little movement in that.
Well, this is the thing, like what this client was saying. She felt amazing in the clothes, and then the scales hold her back. I'm like, just bin them fucking scales, love. Like it's working. What we're doing is working. We can see that in you. Bin them. Just get rid of them. And obviously, it's useful to know your total weight from time to time, but it's not something you need to be obsessing over. So this is supposed to be about training. What do you think? We spoke a little bit about like mistakes that people make with exercise and weight loss. So just like throw a few at me.
Staying in the comfort zone, like what we spoke about before. Say, like repetition's important, but like so is progressive overload.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit of both, isn't it? You can get comfortable doing the same way. You can do the same workouts for weeks on end as long as you're lifting and progressing in your weights. Like just simplify it, and it's also better for your nervous system knowing what you're doing, having it there in front of you. Right, I'm going in to execute this. It takes the fear out of it.
Yeah,
doesn't it? That like pulling up to the gym of like, oh my God, is this class going to be okay? Like it's so good the way the clients have access to the app. Like they always say to me, they look before they come in to like mentally prepare. And it is like, you don't want to pull up and like the fear of God in you, like in the car park.
What am I going into?
Am I going to be able to keep up? Yeah, like.
Yeah.
You need to realise it's not always going to be fun.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's not like training's not always fun. Stop trying to like make your exercises and your workouts exciting, because half the time they're really not.
So this was my thing. I wanted to go and do something different all the time. I thought it was boring to repeat repeat workouts, but I didn't understand training for a result. And so I just used to go in and do random stuff off Instagram. Like, and I never used to log my weights. I never used to pick up heavy enough weights in the first place, but I never used to log them. There was no structure. So there was no progression. So I just wasted years exercising and being fit. You know, I was physically fit, but I wasn't training for my specific goal. So it's not meant to be like, it doesn't need to be fun and exciting. And in a way, it's fun and exciting in a different way than what you think it needs to be. Mm-hmm. So it is actually really fun and exciting to hit PBs.
Yeah.
You just don't understand that because you've never tracked your weights properly, never followed a proper program. Like the amount of, we all celebrate each other in the gym. Like when it comes up, that's a PB. I've never done this before. We're like, woo! Yeah. And you're like flying on endorphins after it because you've got that sense of accomplishment. If you don't follow a program and you don't log your weights, you don't get any PBs. Like you don't get that feel good feeling. I had someone, she's not a client, she messaged me once going, oh, I really can't do the same workouts because I've got ADHD. And I was like,
it's better for you.
I was like, well, I'm so confused by that. You're just giving yourself this reason why you can't do it.
Yeah.
Do you want results or not? If you want results, do this. If you don't, if you're just going for fun, do whatever you want. Like that is how it is. Like, you can't just give yourself a way out, like say, oh, this because of this or because of that. That's how you get results, so just do it.
Like, I feel like the best is like, I'll come when I get a bit fitter.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah. No, you go to the gym
to get fitter. Fit. Yeah, you don't have to be fit to come to the gym.
Yeah. We get a lot of that at Lift and Glow because obviously it's groups. I think people worry about not being able to keep up. Mm-hmm. But I think that that's one of the really good things about Lift and Glow is because it's only a small group. People in there could be back squatting 80 kilo and you could be doing goblet squats with a 10 because you've never been in a gym before. So because it's a small group, we can just adjust everything to you.
And it's nice to be around people who are doing better than you. It's something to aim for. And a lot of the time, like clients will be like, I started like that as well. Yeah. And it does give you like that little bit of comfort. Yeah. Especially in Lift and Glow. Because everyone's like that. So
when they come in, when beginners come in, they're always saying to people like, how long have you been here? Because you can see that they're like looking at the weights at the lifting and they're like, wow, like how long have you been here? And they were like 5 years, like, oh my God. It's like, And so it just shows them the potential if they keep going. So I do think it is really, really great to be surrounded by like people who are inspiring. Like I love training there because a lot of the girls are stronger and fitter than me, and they drag me through the workout.
The majority of Lift and Glow can hip thrust heavier than me. It's insane.
They're so strong.
I get scared of partnering with people. Like I was with Alison on Wednesday.
I hate them words. Go with Alison.
No. Met Alison. Don't think I've met Alison.
Oh, she's
You'll know
boss. She
Alison.
comes in the morning. Or Holly. Like Holly just absolutely beasts me. I'm like, where's the strength come from? But she's been a client for like 6 years, and like, I don't know, I just think it is really, it's inspiring to be around people, and you definitely do get pushed more than if you're just going in on your own.
Whereas when I come to your class yesterday, I was like, I'm going to have to get these 20s out. Like, it's a lot of pressure.
You did after I told you to get up off that rep.
I know. I was like, that's fighting for me like for 12.
Charlie pushes you.
I know, do you know what he was calling you when you last night?
A
silent assassin.
Yeah, smiling assassin.
Smiling assassin, yeah.
Yeah,
silent smiling.
Because she's like this.
I was thinking she's not that quiet though.
No. But she's
smiling,
like, she'll be like, what are you doing? You're like, what do you mean? Why have you got that weight? She says it with a smile, and you're like, yeah, so I think don't focus on calories burnt. I think focus on weights that you lift. Like if you are training for fat loss, which is improving your body composition, strength training is just so important.
Yeah.
And not just for fat loss, like for your health, long-term health. Women need to have some muscle. They need to. And they need strong bones as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know anyone, but my mum and my auntie both broke their wrist within like 2 years of one another. And it was because of their bone density.
The menopause, like, wreaks havoc on your bones.
Yeah.
This is why it's important. I say this to my clients who are in the 20s. I'm like, I know that seems like a long time off, but it's coming fast.
Yeah.
Like once you're at 25, you're basically 30.
Yeah.
Like,
basically. And then once you're basically 30, you're almost 40.
Yeah, I was telling someone, I was like, on my birthday when I'm 31 next year, and they were like, Rio, you're 32 next year. I was like, already? Where's what happened?
No, it does. It goes very,
It goes
very
fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. But we need to start thinking about those things when we're young, because it is actually too late to do it. It's not too late. You can slow it down if you start in your 40s and 50s. But really,
you can make it a lot easier for yourself.
We make it easier for ourselves if you start in your 20s. Build the muscle when it's easy, you know, and like build the habits and stuff when it's easier and you've got a life that you can manage it all.
When you're at home with your mum and dad and they're cooking for you and you've got all the time, like it's so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
So much easier.
Yeah. Is there anything else, like training wise? I think cardio we need to mention because it does help with energy expenditure. So if you're someone who like has an inactive job, or maybe you can't get out and go for walks, whatever, because maybe you've struggled with childcare, doing a few cardio sessions a week is going to help you with weight loss. It's not the only thing to do, but
little blasts from home, them 10-minute finishes. Like you don't need machines to do a little hitty session like that. If you want to just throw it in and push yourself and then building on that.
Yeah.
It's what you can do. And also time that you're training as well. You don't need to go for like an hour and a half at the gym to have an effective workout.
You don't need to go for an hour and a half if you're planning your workout.
No, exactly, yeah.
I think that's like a big barrier for women. I haven't got time. I don't have time to go to the gym. And so it holds them back and it stops them from trying at all. But we know that you can have a really good, effective workout within half an hour, even from home if you've got a decent setup. And so it doesn't need to be a barrier. You can make it work for yourself.
Yeah.
I never do a workout that is any longer than an hour. I couldn't think of, it's just not for me. I don't need to be there for longer than an hour.
I'm a 45er.
Yeah. And
it's only ever an hour if I'm like chatting in between my sets.
Yeah.
Got loads of, like I'm doing really heavy session and need the rest. But
I think as well, you know, if you're there longer than an hour, what are you doing? Are you scrolling in between all your sets? Are you taking
resting for 10 minutes?
Yeah, and like, are you just adding loads of random exercises on for fun? Like, what are you doing? Because if you work hard at the intensity that you should be, you're done within an hour. Anyway.
Can I just say what you've just said? And it's something that really bugs me. Like, you double sessions. If you're doing one session, why do you need to do a second one?
No. I'm not. I was a back-to-back hit. I used to do like 2 HIIT classes back to back because I wanted to burn more calories.
You don't need to. If you're doing one workout and you are putting all your effort into it, you shouldn't be able to do another workout later,
and if you
later
are
on in the day.
Stressing your body out massively, aren't you?
I think it's different if you are an athlete.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's different depending on the sessions. So I used to do Olympic lifting on a Tuesday morning, which wasn't overly intense. It was a lot of skill work. And then I'd run after. So that's technically two sessions, but I wouldn't do a lift and glow and then run that same day. I don't feel like I need to, especially on those days which have the cardio.
I double session on a Wednesday because one of my sessions is calisthenics.
Yeah.
So then I do my cardio on that day as well. And I feel like if you lift if you like to do 2 sessions, lift of a morning, cardio of an evening.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fine.
And like, I wouldn't say to be doing like a HIIT class and then try and do a strength class.
No.
Like, how are you going to squat heavy when you've just depleted all your energy? I think you need a good break and fuel in between your sessions if you're going to do that.
Or even like if you're doing a strength session and later on the night you're doing a yoga or a Pilates, then that's fine too.
Yeah.
It's just like
the
when I see like back to back doing a strength session and then like, going to like a HIIT session later on, like another strength HIIT. And I'm like,
we had need to do that. Screaming, not lifting heavy enough.
Yeah.
Literally.
We had people, because we do, on Saturday, we do a sweat and then a strength. And I think I had a couple of people try and do both. And I was like, what is the point in you being here for the strength session?
Yeah.
You can't do what you normally would be able to do. Don't come again. If you're going to do sweat, don't come to strength because you're wasting your time. Like and you're just depleting yourself. You're going to go home. You're wasting spaces. Other people need to come. But you're going to go home. You're going to be fatigued. You're not going to have the energy you need for the day. You're going to be really hungry. I think there's a fine line. It's really important actually for fat loss. There's a fine line between doing enough and doing too much. If you are constantly over-exercising, or if you think like, right, if I do 20k steps a day, I'll lose more weight. You could think that, but if you do 20k steps a day, you'll also shoot your hunger levels up. Like if you run a 5k every single day, you'll notice your hunger increases. So there's a fine line between like doing what you need to do to lose weight and then doing too much, which actually ends up biting you in the bum.
Yeah.
You know, we need to manage energy. We need to manage hunger. And so you don't need like to run every day or do HIIT every day or to do 20k steps. Just do like, you want to do as little as possible while bringing about the result that you want.
See, when you give the deficits to clients and they're like, I just don't think I'll need that. I think give it a few weeks when we're lifting heavier, you'll 100% need it.
Yeah. You need the fuel, and
you do.
It's important if we're talking about body composition. You need fuel to recover. So you're not going to build muscle or maintain muscle if you don't have your carbs and your protein and you're not eating enough. You can't. I say this to so many people. You're not going to build glutes eating 1,200 calories. Stop even attempting it. Like, eat more. Yeah. It's not that you won't lose fat. You will lose fat. You feel better overall. Have more energy. Like, everything just clicks. Like, I've got a client and I was speaking to her yesterday, and before we met, she was eating 600 calories a day, doing this mad, I can't remember what it was called. Can't remember, but it was 600 calories a day. And I was going on and on it, please, like, eat more, just have another meal a day. And then it didn't work out. She left coaching, carried on with the 600 calories a day, stopped it, went on holiday, regained loads of weight, came back and was like, Hayley, I'm ready to do it properly. I want to do it properly. She is now the same weight as what she was when she was doing this 600 calorie diet, but she looks totally different. Like, she looks like she's a full, even maybe 2 dress sizes smaller than she was when she was doing that 600 calorie diet, and she's eating more than double the calories. She's on like 1,700 now, but she's lifting heavy and she's actually built a bit of muscle and she's fueling herself properly. And I was like, doesn't that show you that like it isn't weight loss? It's like what we're doing actually has made you feel better than those 600 calorie diets. But it's insane.
600 calories, that is...
I had that for my breakfast.
Literally, that's why my meals are like about that.
Yeah. It fucked her, like it messed with her relationship with her body. It, like, the way she felt about herself, you know, like, it's not healthy. It's not good.
It's not.
It leaves you in a really horrible position. And now she's full of energy. She's not tracking her food anymore. And she's just in a boss place. And she's looking at video. She sent me a form video the other day. She was like, I can't believe that's my body. And I was like, see? And she doesn't weigh herself anymore. And she'd only weighed herself the other day. And then we'd had this conversation. She was like, that would have done my head in that I wasn't any lighter, only for the fact that I look completely different. And I'm like, oh, there you go. Like, fucking bin the scales.
Of course, you're going to be unhappy on 600 calories because you can't socialise. Like, you can't go out for food. You can't go out for drinks on a weekend.
No.
Like, you can't have that takeaway. You can't do none of that. And that's everything that makes you feel better.
Yeah, angry person walking around on 600 calories, you'd be irritated. Like,
yeah, and like she's a Mormon.
Yeah.
I think as well, she felt like a failure because there was days that she couldn't maintain it. So I think, and the big change that she's made with the training, seeing as we are meant to be talking about training, is she was doing Pilates 7 days a week, which she still does Pilates, but we've reduced that to 3 times a week, and she strength trains 3 times a week. And like that's allowed her to actually build some solid muscle and change the body composition. And she looks better, feels better. So I think training for fat loss, training for weight loss, don't focus on the scales, focus on the weight you lift. If you want to don't focus on calories burned, focus on the calories you eat. I would say strength train 3 times a week, do bits of cardio as and when you can or want to.
Yeah.
Would you add anything else? Obviously train intensely, so make your workouts like 8, 9 out of 10.
And your daily movement then around that.
Daily movement, your steps, just the basics. And obviously eat your protein too for body composition.
Yeah.
Would you add anything else?
I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Sad.